Hey guys, welcome to another Commander Versus series. I'm David McDarby, joined with
Danny West, as always.
Yep, and here, so do you guys like tribal decks? Do you like tribal decks?
I know I do.
You do? Okay. So what's your guys' favorite tribes? Wizard, maybe? Merfolk? Goblin?
I'm a big soldier guy. I like soldiers,
Soldier, yeah. I like dragons. I like sand.
Yeah.
Nephilim, maybe.
Well, we're not going to be playing with any of those.
No, we're not going to play with good ones. We sat down and we wanted to have a tribal battle, but not with good tribes, because why be like those 60-card guys who want to win with their decks?
Yep.
But we just want to like explore and have fun.
Yep, because Commander, that's what it's about. We've explored the competitive side.
Last weekend, who won? Oh, I think I did. I had the pin. But, you know, be that as it may. You wanted to play something where
we had a little fun, did something crazy, and explored some themes. And take a look down here. This is what we came up with for, this is the deck I will be playing. So this is the Atogatog.
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 What creature type is he?
He is an Atog, a legendary Atog. So what we have here, as you can see, is a lot of Atogs and some things we can do with them. When you're running with a theme deck like this, one of the things that, for better or worse, I didn't want to exclude anybody. Yeah. So we have,
the whole gang.
Yeah, Necrotog, who will admittedly not do much. We have some of the major ones that people have heard of, obviously Psychotog.
I've heard of him before.
He was very powerful. I used Chronotog in a previous video with Stasis, talking about the Stasis
The one
combo.
where I beat you.
Always back to that.
I gotta have something.
And as well as our old friend, the original.
The original
Atog. And so this deck is a tribal deck which looks to take this gang of weirdos and sort of find fun interactions to play with and do things with them. And I've highlighted some of those below. Atogs in general like to eat artifacts.
They do.
Mycosynth Lattice here makes all my permanents. It's everybody's permanents. Yeah,
it's mine too, but you can't stack mine.
That's correct. So it gives plenty of, it's basically turns everything I have into Atog food.
Or Megatog.
That's correct. Food. Megatog loves to eat stuff. We've got cards like Phyrexian Metamorph, which can not only copy an Atog or creature on the other end, but also it stays an artifact, which means I can sack that creature as well. Do things like put Metamorph and Mimic that, make a bunch of them, do it with Nim Death Mantle. Lots of tricks here.
Yeah, I think the best part about Phyrexian Metamorph is it's probably going to be the best creation in your deck when you copy your opponent's creatures.
I don't even think that's debatable. I think by a country mile. Yeah. I'll admit, Conflux doesn't have a lot of combos in here.
No Progenitus Dream Halls.
Correct. The idea of getting 5 Atogs and tutoring them up at once, though, is too exciting to resist.
Yeah, you can get all 5 of these or all 5 of these. There's one of each color in both. Okay.
Any number of things. Coat of Arms I wanted to highlight just because if you're playing a tribal EDH deck,
you gotta have that one.
That's correct.
And if in tribal deck, that's one of the scariest cards actually.
Correct.
It's like an overrun.
Went out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And speaking of overrun, the fixed overrun is actually not so fixed in this build, and that's Overwhelming Stampede. Overwhelming Stampede allows my creatures to get much, much bigger, especially when it's with Chameleon Colossus. I can make him huge and then cast Overwhelming Stampede to make all my guys huge. Prismatic Omen is in the deck as well to make all my lands forests, which make them sack to 4 Atog,
of course.
So a lot going on here. Atog, you can't have a Atog without a Rancor standing by because it's basically an infinite.
It's as much mana, green mana as you
have.
Not
infinite, but
yeah, with Prismatic Omen you have a lot of green mana.
That's true. And Atog doesn't get much better than when you got one of the Rancors or the bounce back to your hand.
Yeah, because that's a very fair mechanic of just it coming back to your hand.
You know, Urza Block was all about fairness.
At least they didn't reprint Rancor recently.
Yeah.
But Chameleon Colossus is not an Atog. He's a shapeshifter, right?
I believe he's also an Atog.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. In addition to being many other things.
I think that might be the best Atog in your deck.
Merfolk, God,
Ally.
Yep. Oh, we'll find more about that later. But
all right. So
I will say that if this deck should win, most of the time this is one of those decks where it's a lot easier to deal 21 than it is to deal 40.
Yeah.
And because of that, Atogatog, I should say, is pretty huge as far as getting wins on the board.
Yeah, Atogatog seems to be the Atog of all Atogs. That kind of general, as with the original Elder Dragons, a lot of generals they're made up to kill the opponent with the 21 damage roll, like Rafik or any big flying guy. Like that's going to win most of your games, which makes them a little better 1v1. But we're not playing these decks to be competitive, super competitive. We put them we want them to be good, like they have good cards in them, like some of these over here. But they're not made to destroy your opponent like we saw 2 weeks ago when I destroyed you.
There's definitely a stigma against the 5-color good stuff decks. I think people want you to have some sort of theme, and I think it's fun. I don't want to say you can't do what you want, because Commander should be do what you want. But at the same time, I think there is something to be said for a 5-color deck that doesn't just play all good stuff and actually sort of does something kooky.
Yeah. People, and when you play people with this deck, they'll remember your deck.
I'm certainly not going to forget it.
Okay. Yep. All right.
We'll be back shortly. Dave's got some tricks up his sleeve, and we're going to see those in just a second.